Hey y'all, so today I'll be showing you how you can make this faith-based ice cream snow globe. We'll be using my new ice cream mold again, and then I also have this new snow globe link below. I've never used this before, but I do love the style of this. So I am starting with this vinyl today, and this design is from Maisie Daisy. And then I am also using my ice cream mold again. And then I'm also using this mug snow globe from Tipsy Magnolia. I believe it's 20 ounces. It's a really good size, and it also comes with 2 plugs. And then I kind of want to mix some solutions today just so that I can get kind of like a teal color. So I'm going to be using Adhesive Apothecary products. So that blue is from the beach bundle. I'm using 2 different greens and then regular levitation solution, and I'll have all of that linked below. I just want to mix all of this together just so that I can get like a teal color. So I'm kind of just playing with it just to see what the outcome is, and then I'm filling the rest up with levitation solution just so that I can make sure I'm able to fill my entire snow globe up. And then this is how the color came out. You want to make sure that you shake it really good. I really love how this color turned out, and then someone also mentioned that this color would be perfect for Christmas, so I would definitely keep this combination in mind. After it's shook up, I'm going to go ahead and put the tip on just so that I can apply it inside my snow globe. Adhesive Apothecary also has extra tips on her website, and I recommend getting those too because I feel like the tips just make it so much easier to fill the snow globe up. And while I was filling this up, I was like, I think I want a little bit of glitter in here. So I'm using some princess cuts from It's Pretty Personal, and I have them linked below. I just put like a little bit in, and then I finished filling my snow globe up, and then this is how it turned out. I always leave a little bit of an air bubble, and then I also clean off the bottom of my lid, obviously, once I'm done, and then plug it. But that's how it turned out. But before we go any further, make sure that you like and subscribe, more to come. So now that we have the snow globe all full, we can start on the vinyl. So I'm using my hand turner from Krafty Cow. They have one more available, so I have it linked below. Somebody has to grab it because these are so handy. I absolutely love it. I use it for every single cup. So what I'm going to do is just take a strip of vinyl, and I'm going to apply that around my mug. This just worked out perfectly, like the size of the design and then also the size of the cup, so you can see like the entire ice cream design. And then yeah, it just wraps perfectly around the middle of the cup. So I just cut that with my paper cutter. I fold a piece of the vinyl back a little bit just so that I can get it lined up, and then once I have that part that I exposed lined up, just so that it helps me lay everything down, I take the back part off, and then I'm just going to start laying everything down. What I love about the hand turner is that it's on a wheel, so while I'm applying my vinyl on, it's spinning with no effort to help me get everything laid down. It makes the entire process so much easier. And then I did leave like a little bit of a gap where the handle is, just because my vinyl wasn't long enough to wrap. But also you can just cut it if your vinyl wasn't long enough. You can just cut around the handle, which I'm doing right now. So I'm making sure that everything is lined up correctly, and that's how it turned out. I do want to add some striping tape to the top and bottom. So I'm using white striping tape. I feel like I do this a lot with my vinyl, but I really love it. It's not necessarily that you're going to be able to see the white striping tape on top, but I kind of just like to outline it anyways, just in case, because I don't want like the ends of the vinyl to be exposed. That's just not what I'm going to go for. And then I also want to use the circle cutting tool. I have this link below. It's from Amazon. And I just cut like one of the ice creams out so I can put it at the bottom of the cup, and it fits perfectly. I mean, you can adjust it, it's adjustable, but this cutout fit perfectly for the bottom of my cup. So the last thing that I want to do before I do anything else is I'm going to seal my vinyl in. So I'm using some Celestial Luster from Adhesive Apothecary. This also has like some like shimmer to it, a little bit of glitter. And it helps seal your vinyl in, or your glitter in, whatever you're using. You can use this as like a sealer, and that's how it turned out. So I'm going to let that dry. And then once it dried, I epoxied it. So this is after I epoxied it. The bottom's also epoxied too. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this piece of vinyl. I like doing this after I epoxy just so that I can make sure my plug is sealed in and that I have like a smooth layer to work with, so that my vinyl on the bottom like sits correctly. It doesn't have like a bulge in it from the plug. And I also want to put my ice cream scoop on. So if you see my previous tutorial with my scoop, you can use clay with my scoop, or you can fill it up with epoxy. I filled it up with pink epoxy, and that's how it turned out. So I just have like a scoop now for my topper. And then I also want to make drips on my cup. So while I have my epoxy like set to the side, I have my epoxy mix already. I'm going to start prepping everything. So what I want to do is add painter's tape to the top of my cup, just so that I don't get no epoxy where where you put the lid onto, because I feel like that would be like really hard to clean up, or it would be a pain in the butt to get epoxy right where your lid needs to screw onto. It's just it really would be. So make sure that you can outline it with painter's tape just to avoid the mess. And then before I go back and start doing my drips, I want to add epoxy onto my ice cream scoop just so that it can sit and be adhered to my lid. So that's what I'm doing. I just use my popsicle stick to move some epoxy around, and then I set it however I wanted to, center right in the middle of my cup, and then you want to let that dry. Now for the drips, I use white acrylic paint. I'm using Fast Set again, and then I use some alcohol ink. I did want my drip to be like more pink, but I don't think I put enough pink in with my alcohol, so my drip came out more like a peach color than a pink. And I'm not mad at it. The ice cream on my design is, you know, different color. So, but I added some cornstarch also just to make it thicker as usual, and then I mixed that all up. I didn't realize that much that my drip was more of a peach color until I looked back at my cup after it dried. And then looking at it now, I can obviously see that it's not as pink as I wanted it to be, but I'm not mad at it. I still loved how it turned out. And this is another method on how I apply my drips onto cups like this, especially cups that you have to outline or tape off the part where the lid goes, just so that you can avoid the mess. I kind of make it thicker so that I'm able to work with it still. That's the whole point of cornstarch. And then I've been using Fast Set lately just so that it can set faster. But I kind of just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you kind of just apply it on in a circular fashion, and it'll drip either way because, you know, once you set something down, that's just the point of gravity. It's going to make your drips come down. So yeah, I'm just applying it with my popsicle stick like in a circular fashion all around the cup. And then you just want to let it sit and let it round off. But what you will see me do here shortly is I did add it onto my turner so that it can continue having that rounder look. I didn't want to drip too far. So that's another thing that you can do if you don't want your drips to continue dripping. However, once you put it on your turner is going to give it more of a rounder look, and you'll see what I'm talking about here soon. So yeah, once you have it applied everywhere, you can go ahead and remove your painter's tape. And basically, it just helped keep your epoxy off of where the lid sits. And then you can go ahead and let it drip some more. But if you don't want it to drip and you like where it's at, you can go ahead and slide it onto your turner. That's why I always leave my foam inside of my cup, because I just never know after I get done applying it. But that's how the drips turned out. I feel like it looks really good. The Fast Set helped it stop, and then the turner also gave it a more rounder look. And then this is after my epoxy dried. So what I'm going to do with my ice cream scoop now is make a straw hole. And making straw holes is super easy. All you need is a drill, some extra bits, and then a Dremel. So what I do is I start out with a smaller drill part first, and you want to do this just so that you don't crack out your epoxy. If you make a hole too big too fast, it's going to crack or break your topper. So start out with something small, start out with a smaller bit, and drill the hole in. It's super easy. It's super easy. I've been doing this for so many years. It's super easy to make straw holes. This is all that you need. After you put the initial small hole, you can go back and put a bigger drill bit in and make a bigger hole, and just work your way up to a bigger hole. That's all you need to do, is just take your time, to be honest, and you won't break it. After I had the bigger hole in, I'm going to go back with my Dremel and make sure that everything is smooth and cleaned out. I went through the top and the bottom, make sure that the hole was completely smooth, and then you'll see how it turned out here soon. Making straw holes is super easy, and this is how it turned out. I absolutely love this ice cream scoop, and then my mold is only available on my website. It's hyper realistic. It looks just like ice cream. I have about 10 more available before I have to put it out of stock so that I can catch up on all my orders this week. They all will be shipping this week, so make sure that you grab it before I have to restock. I'm not going to restock until probably next week, but I love how this entire thing turned out. I feel like it's really giving summer. I love that it's faith-based, and I hope everyone loved this, and thank you for watching.